people often tell me as well is investors, especially with early stage companies, they don't invest in the company. They don't invest in the idea. They invest in the team, because ideas can change. The company can rebrand. The company may change its name. It might pivot to something else, but it's that team that they're investing in. A couple of things I would suggest. One, because all of you are university students, and there are certain biases towards young founders, which is great. That works in your favor. But there are also biases against young founders. We're often perceived as less experienced. There is a bigger risk factor to the university student starting a company. And that's understandable. Most of us are still figuring out who we are, which is why I think trying to find team members who are older and more experienced in the industry is a huge plus. So these might be individuals that are in their 30s and 40s and are already leading in the space. They maybe have worked on other startups before, or it could be that in the industry that you're operating out of, they're really well-known thought leaders and experts. Now, they might be in a position to join your core team. They might be excited about it, or you might have them as advisors, and that still gives you a lot more credibility as a team. Right. So having really experienced industry leaders on your advisory board or on your core team is a huge win. And I urge you to try to make that happen in whatever shape or form. A couple of other things to think about. This goes back to the legal stuff. One of the things I wish we did early on is have everyone on vesting agreements, including myself. So I don't know if you guys know what vesting agreements are, but essentially it means your equity in the company vests over a period of time or based on certain milestones. So for the core founding team, let's say if Finn, you and I split the company 50-50, we both don't get 50-50 from the beginning, it vests over time. That means if 2 years from now you decided, I don't want to do this anymore, you don't own 50% of the company that you're holding hostage. You own 10% of it because the rest of it hasn't invested. I think that really, really helps kind of reduce the uncertainty with team members, because not all the team members you're with right now will choose to be with you 5 years from now. But you want to make sure their equity can be released back into the company if they leave early or if they haven't met certain milestones. And the same applies for let's say not core team members. So you might choose to bring on a developer and say to them, I'll give you 4% of the company in return for building the platform. Even that should be vested. So every 2 months, 1% of it gets vested, or it only gets vested after they finish their development objectives. So that's one of the best ways. Vesting is one of the best ways to make sure that it's tagged to outcome and tagged to time. And finally, I think the most important thing with team members is making sure ways of working is aligned. So experiment with it first. Don't commit to anything. Take 3 months and 6 months working with them informally. People are more than willing to do that, and you can be open about it. You can be like, let's just try this out. I'd love to have you as a CTO, but let's try it out for a few months. See how you feel, see how I feel, and then maybe let's explore a vesting agreement to have you be a shareholder into the company. I think that's really important because sometimes people seem amazing at first impression, but then you get to working with them and you realize it's not a compatible working relationship. And a part of the testing period also involves making sure they're aligned with the vision and mission. So for those of you who are solving a problem and are really committed to that problem, you want to make sure your team is also equally committed to that problem. And they're not doing it for the glory. They're not doing it for the money. They're doing it because they want to solve this problem just like you want to solve this problem. That way, a lot of decision-making amongst the team becomes much easier when you're aligned in that way.
Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be uploading new podcasts every week where we spotlight some of the world's leading startup founders and VCs to talk about their journeys and experiences in the field.